There's
I will call the council meeting of April 9th, 2025 to order. Will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you please call roll?
Bilski. Allner.
Here.
Here. Perry. Silver.
Here. Is there a motion to confirm the appointment, maybe it should be reappointment, of Anthony Lazar to the Planning and Zoning Commission effective May 1st, 2025, for the term expiring December 31st, 2025?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? As a reminder, he was on there. He stepped off for personal health reasons. Ready to get back on. Any questions or comments?
I just want to say thank you to Scott for filling the term and welcome him back.
Anna, will you please call roll?
Madden. Foster. Allner.
Yes.
Vincent. Perry. Yes. Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Next Era Energy Services for natural gas?
Make that motion.
Kim, is there a second? Thank you. Is that Phil?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mayor, you want to go over this one?
hand this over to Bob because he's got all the particulars on it. This is an annual contract or biannual contract.
Our 2-year contract is coming up here at the end of April, and we're looking to renew that. We've done our due diligence on apples to apples, done a lot of comparisons there. NextEra, NOPEC has given us a contract price proposal that's locked in currently, and it is lower than any other one that we had come across. So asking for approval to do a 2-year contract. This has been discussed with the finance department, and the finance department is on board as well, Dana, with renewing a contract with NextEra Energy.
What happens if rates go down?
We're locked in. You can do variable rates. You can do a 12-month. You can do a 24-month. Certainly, a variable is a big gamble, but I think we've been favorable in doing, the long-term, 2-year contract.
The reality is that, we need predictability in what we do in the village, and having a fixed rate contract for 2 years enables us to reasonably predict what our bills are going to be on a monthly basis, and then know what they'll be going forward for at least the 2 years of the contract. If they go down during that period, well, we could have captured some value, but on the other hand, it could go up and we'd lose a lot of value. So from our standpoint, having the ability to have a consistent bill at the end of each month for our utility is really important.
Any other questions or comments? Leanna, please call roll.
Madden.
Yes.
Foster. Allner.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Silver.
Yes. Motion to authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with 6 Mo Architecture to provide plan examination services to the village.
So moved.
Thank you, Stacy. Is there a second?
Second it.
Thank you, Lisa. Joe, you want to discuss this?
I can fill you in on historically, well, for the last several years, we have had a plans examiner whose health has been in a bit of a challenge. He's been superseded by another plans examiner who's getting out of the business, so to speak, and we need to hire a new plans examiner for our commercial work. Ron Kluchin does all the residential plan reviews for the village. This is just for commercial projects and properties. The actual architect that will be doing the work is April Skirka, who works for 6 Mo Architecture, and she will be the administrator and plan reviewer for Orange Village.
Is there concern with any conflict of interest with her being on planning and zoning?
No.
Okay. Okay.
The only way that there would be a conflict is if Sixmo was actually the architect for the project.
Any questions or comments? Please call roll.
Madden,
Yes.
Foster. Bilski. Oops, sorry. Allner.
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report for February of 2025? I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Stacy. Dana's not here. Lisa, are we going to go over this?
I can do that. So for the treasurer's report, total revenue from all funds in February 2025 was $1,199,821.94. Total expenditures from all funds for February 2025 was $920,991.23. Report, we're at 2/12 of 2025, which is 17% of the year. Total general fund revenue for February was $991. $81.00 represents 16% of the total budgeted for the general fund for 2025. So we're looking good there. The total general fund expenditures for February, of $835,613.20 represents 13.6% of the total budgeted for the general fund for 2025. The report shows that each department's expenditures, administration's operating expense represents over 57% of budget as a result of paying the annual insurance premiums, which happens every January. We're ahead of our monthly budgeted amount. Departments show a negative for governmental obligations due to the annual adjustments for workers' compensation, actual cost adjustments from estimates paid in 2024. And the mayor's fringe benefits show a 79% of the budget due to a payment for prior year's underpayment. A budget amendment will need to be done for this council to correct the budget and reflect the change. And then no other line items were extraordinary for the month, so.
We'll do that budget item next month, probably, I would assume. Yeah. All right, any questions or comments? Please call roll.
Madden. Foster. Allner.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the tax administrator's report for February of 2025?
So moved.
Thank you, Stacy. Is there a second? Thank you, Lisa.
Order. Total gross collections from all sources for February was $687,679.13. This is comparable to February of 2020. Year-to-date 2025 revenue from all sources totaled $1,361,045.72, which is about $75,000 higher than year-to-date 2024. 2022 to 2025 monthly cumulative income tax is on that chart, which if you'd like to see a copy, anybody in the audience, I have one here.
All right, any questions? Anna, please call roll.
Madden.
Yes.
Foster.
Yes.
Allner.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Perry. Silver.
Yes. Moving on, a discussion of the bills to be paid in the month of April in the amount of $369,301.57, and additional March expenses in the amount of $67,375.70. Any questions or comments on these? All right, moving on then. Any audience comments related to agenda items? None. Moving on to old business, ordinance 2025-7 as amended. An ordinance amending section 1133.07 impact fees of the codified ordinances of Orange Village and declaring an emergency. This is on for third reading. We've discussed this a couple times. Any questions or comments? Anna, will you please call roll?
Wait, we need
You make a motion.
Oh, yeah. Was there a motion for ordinance 2025-7? Thank you, Lisa. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kim. Now you can call roll.
Madden,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Ordinance 2025-8, an ordinance amending certain sections of the codified ordinances of Orange Village to amend the process by which notice of violations are sent to parties who are responsible for remediating the violations. This is on for second reading. It should have been sent to planning and zoning after the first reading. Well, we're okay to do that now, I assume, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So this will go to planning and zoning. Assuming they approve it, then we'll come back to us for a vote for the third reading in May. Any questions or comments on this?
I guess my only question, and we can do it when we get to 12, is what is the difference between 2025-8 and 2025-9? Are they two totally separate things, or they seem interrelated?
They're similar. Bob McLaughlin went through the codes where he is responsible for giving notice to violators and identified deficiencies. He worked with the prosecutor, and they gave us this language. This one, because of the zoning change, needs to go to planning and zoning. They advise council on proposed changes to the zoning code. The building code, which is the next one, does not need to go to planning and zoning. So it's just, you know, they were done separately. As a practical matter, I think we had difficulty through my office getting all of it into one ordinance, but it shouldn't matter. It will be fine.
Well, aren't they, one really relates to planning and zoning matters, and another one relates to building.
Yeah, yes. Although the planning and zoning one also has the provision deals with trees and that sort of thing. 52111 were being amended by itself. We wouldn't need to send it to the Planning and Zoning Commission. But yes, they're two different segments of the code that are actually three different segments of the code.
Questions or comments? Moving on, new business, ordinance 2025-9, which Stacy just referenced, an ordinance amending certain sections of the Orange Village Building Code to amend and clarify the method by which property owners and occupants are made aware of alleged violations of the building code. This is on for first reading. Did Judd or did you want to go over some of the highlights of it? Or?
To interject on these, one of the things that we have come to find as being critical is making sure that we are dealing with the principal responsible party for the property. Because very often there is an occupant that is in the property. They're the one that sometimes receives the notice, and they don't have the ability to act on it. And they may or may not transmit it to the actual property owner.
I mean, I care either.
And they may not care either. And therefore, this modification allows us to get directly to those responsible parties for the property.
Okay. And like you said, this does not need to go to planning and zoning. That's correct. Okay.
Except that under section 1B, I get it that receipt by personal service, regular mail, or certified mail with return receipt requested, or posting at the subject property is still an option. So if the person is not at the property and the person who's at the property doesn't care, then posting at the property is not going to be an effective means to.
Posting is the last, if we cannot identify a location where you could have an LLC with no address and you could have nobody on the site and you still have a violation. So you post at the property so that you can proceed to the next step.
But it doesn't say, and if none of those are effective, then posting on the site. It says, or posting at the subject property. I wonder if that's the case, then do we want our language to say something along the lines of, if you couldn't do any of the above, then as a last resort, posting at the property, or some, not, maybe not last resort, but, you know, some kind of language.
Last known address cannot be ascertained, the notice shall be posted on the outside front entrance. So it really kind of contains that.
Say that.
Does it say that?
05, 1. Looking at a different section where we don't have that
Am
language.
I not, say that again, where it is?
1133.05 B1.
33, I mean?
Down under enforcement.
0.05
Yeah.
B1. As a practical matter, that's
That kind of covers what you just said,
Okay.
Kim. Do you see that? That covers it.
I think then I would just sort of say something along the lines of, in 1323.02B, I might say, see also, what was that, 1333.05B1.
A change that can easily be made, Steve?
sure.
Consistent with 1333.05B1, or something that there's a reference there.
Throw a whereas or heretofore in there.
We may just bake it into 1323.02.
This goes back to the other one, because in 2025-8, 1142.08B, or A and B really, kind of discuss the same thing. Will one take precedence over the other? I mean,
For different violations. So, the idea that I was told by the people who put this together, which is the prosecutor's office, was that this is to sort of streamline and make uniform the procedures. So if I need to go back and pick up all that, we can do that.
I just think for clarity.
probably worth looking into, because it just seems like the one we're talking about now is a little more specific
Right.
as to how to get to those people, whereas the 1142 seems a little more generic, if you will.
Any comments on this? All right, this is on for first reading. Moving on. Ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance authorizing the village to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation winter contract for road salt necessary to participate in the bulk purchasing of road salt for the 2025-26 winter season and declaring an emergency. This is on for first reading, and there is a request for suspension of the rules. Bob, are you handling this one?
Yeah, it's that time of the year again. The village has participated in a number of amounts, numerous years, with the ODOT 018 contract for salt participation. Requirement is the ordinance, and we provide them with what our estimated quantity is. This contract, we have to have it in and done by the end of the month, and then ODOT will put it out for bid for the contract, so they need political participation by any political subdivision. Just housekeeping to participate in the ODOT contract. I want to point out one of the big changes historically for the last number of years. It's been a requirement to purchase at least 90% of your estimated quantity. I believe they must have gotten pushback to the salt companies because they have changed it now to an 85%, which works actually in the village's benefit for purchasing more if we need it and a little less if we don't.
How does any surplus we have now impact the need to purchase?
We have, so last year we had ordered 700, or well, we estimated 750 tons. We ended up taking all 825. I roughly have about 1,200 tons on hand. We used about 1,400 tons. So this year, 1,200, it gives us that number of 1,020 tons to 1,380. So that being said, with what we have on hand and the 1,380, it pretty much would be the worst winter I've been through in 36 years here.
Let's hope not.
Seriously.
Salt we need to be aware of? Or
Sorry, what's it?
any tariffs on the salt?
We're impacted by Ohio. There's a requirement in Ohio that you, ODOT by Ohio, so you can't have competition for out-of-state salt. So
Does it come from that Cargill mine under Lake Erie?
Cargill and Morton are the two.
Way to Canada.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, I will make a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second on that?
Second.
I'll give it to Jeff. Can you call roll on suspension of the rules, please?
Madden,
Yes.
Foster. Yes. Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-10?
So moved.
Thank you, Stacy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kim. Anna?
Madden,
Yes.
Foster. Yes. Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry. Silver.
Yes. Thank you. Are there any audience comments relating to matters which advance the good of the village? I think you know the drill.
Hello, Amanda Kurland, 150 Valencia Circle. A resident in Orangewood she had her sewer bill from Woodbrand that was, it's less than $150, $145.88 for this first quarter. The bill was due 3/15, yet on 2/18 she received a disconnection notice. And the thing is, so they made a mistake, but the thing that drives me crazy about this is that to threaten to disconnect someone's sewer is pretty awful. I think that it would make sense for them to go to collections if they felt it was, an egregious amount or over a long period of time, which this wasn't, or small claims, or put a lien on the property. But I don't see how it could possibly be legal to damage somebody's property because they dig it up to shut off the sewer. So that's just all I'm saying. And she didn't get a straight answer from Woodbrand at that time, and they did cancel for her, but it did look like another property was possibly dug up in the neighborhood. They had marked a bunch of them. So the excavation company said that, oh, well, your village allows it. So I'm just putting out there that maybe someone should look into that because that doesn't sound like a good idea. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. Any other comments?
Did she sign in?
Sign in. Just talk to her.
Good copy.
Mayor Klein, what do you got?
Thanks. Thank you. Updates on a few things. Computer collection continues in April, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Orange Recycling Center, 4680 Lander Road. Branch chipping will be on Monday, April 21st. Please have your branches placed out for pickup on Monday by 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Visit our website at orangevillage.com for regulations and placement of your branches. During this time, we also deliver back the wood chips that are picked up. You can order your wood chips on the website as well. Paper shredding will be held at Pepper Pike City Hall on Friday, April 25th from 9 a.m. until noon. I wanted to tell everybody in the community the outcome of the defacing of the homes in Orangewood has been concluded. The offender agreed to plead guilty on 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. Thanks to the intervention of one of the victim families, the judge sentenced the perpetrator to multiple years of probation, public service, education, and counseling in lieu of jail time. All are pleased with that situation and that the situation is now in the past. Our residents, however, should be very proud of the work of our police department. Thank you to them and the neighboring community partner police departments for assembling a quality evidence package that gave prosecutors the case that resulted in the acceptance of the plea. This past week, Orange Village hosted a meeting of mayors from Beechwood, Pepper Pike, Warrensville Heights, Woodmere, Solon, and Moreland Hills to discuss creating a first calls program, crisis assistance, and local linkage in providing mental health care associated with our 911 system. The program was facilitated by Jerry Chaikin, who is the city manager of Shaker Heights, and who initiated the program. Following the meeting, the group is considering a process to move forward. We appreciate Shaker as they have offered to be the ombudsman to help us advance this program for the future. And I'm waiting responses back from the mayors who were in attendance and a couple of them who were not, but did send representatives so that we can put together the team. What's challenging about this group is that some of the members are in the CVD, the Chagrin Valley Dispatch, and some of the communities are not. So we have to kind of figure out how to interject this 911 related program through multiple dispatch systems. So that's part of the challenge. And to that point, we had invited CVD to participate in it, and they sent a representative as well. So I'm very excited about the potential of that going forward, and I'm looking forward to it happening in the near future. Lastly, Chag Sameach, Happy Passover for those who will be celebrating it. And as we won't have a council meeting before, so Happy Easter to everyone who will be celebrating those holidays. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have no comments. Moving on to comments by council members. Phil Madden.
I have nothing today.
All right. Jeff Foster.
Veterans planning meeting will be 4/23. Nothing.
All right. Ryan Belsky.
Wednesday.
Hi there. We had an economic development meeting last week on Thursday. Had a nice group and a robust discussion around some of the focus areas around the village. Get a little more granular now and trying to really formulate a plan and, where we want to spend our time and our energy and our focus as a committee, and what we might bring to council or discuss with Judd and everybody else. So anyway, good meeting, and I think the next one will be even better, which will be held on May 6th, 5th, 7th, 8th. I forget.
All of them?
Oh my God.
Wednesday.
Hold on. 7th is a Wednesday. It's on the May 6th. Excuse me. Thank you very much. I apologize for that. So May 6th is the next Economic Development Committee meeting here at 7 p.m. Also, I've posted it on Facebook. Again, I don't even really know how to do Facebook very well. But there will be an Active Orange gathering this Saturday at the Orange Park at 2:30 p.m. Tell your friends. That's all I have. Thank you.
Cam Molnar.
I just want to thank the mayor for all his work on the First Calls program. That's, near and dear to my heart, and I'm really happy to hear that we're moving it forward. And I know that you've put a lot of effort in on that, and I truly appreciate it. The next Kiwanis meeting is on April 16, 7 p.m. at the Orange Senior Center. And the Kiwanis-sponsored Easter egg hunt is Saturday, April 19th at 1 p.m. at the Pepper Pike Learning Center athletic fields. It's a free event for kids through 5th grade. Great fun. And I hear the Easter Bunny will be there. If there's any children that would like to have their picture taken with the Easter Bunny, or just give them a high five. So happy Passover to those that celebrate. Happy Easter to those that celebrate. And Earth Day is on April 22nd, so let's all try to do something to make our Earth better. That's it.
All right, thank you. Stacy.
An already short report just got shorter, so I won't repeat what's already been said. Good evening. The school board met on Monday and, among other things, recognized Orange Village resident Senior Joseph Lurie for placing first in the sports and entertainment marketing category. This is something that he did through the XL Tech program at the district tournament, and he qualified for the state competition, so congratulations to Joey. Professional Development Day was added for Moreland Hills Elementary School staff on May 12th, so we're getting the word out. This only affects students at Moreland Hills. There will be no school for those students on May 12th. So you just want to make sure the word gets out. The board's next regular meeting is April 28th, and as a reminder, the mayor's meeting is coming up on April 30th at 8 a.m. at the newly renovated PPLC. Council members, as always, are welcome to attend. I have a quick question. I don't know necessarily who to address it to, but now that spring is supposedly here, even though you wouldn't know it by the weather outside, that means more landscapers and trucks, and I know every year we run into the issue of where trucks, the landscaping trucks park, especially with school buses still going around. And I don't know if there's somebody who wants to speak to this, and just as a reminder to the landscapers, or if you're bringing in a landscaper, what you should tell them. Thanks.
Yes, that's a concern. You know, obviously when we get complaints with landscaping trucks, there's multiple, and a lot of times they put mulch out, so we have dump trucks. So we always advise residents to make sure that their landscapers, if they can park inside their driveway off the road, opposite side of the fire hydrant, that would be considered. Also be courteous to cul-de-sacs so that the school buses can, you know, turn around and drop off our children.
Thank you. I think that reminder is important. Maybe we could put it out in one of our e-newsletters too, just as a reminder. And please, everybody remember, just because the weather is nicer, it's not the time to drive faster, especially through some of the local communities within our community. Children are also out and about now too. Please slow down and be mindful of children at play. The Arts and Culture Committee met last Thursday with wonderful plans for the May 10th pop-up market. We've talked about it before. I will remind everybody at our first meeting in May, but because it will be 3 days later, what I'm asking you now is just to put it on your calendars. We will make our debut as the Arts and Culture Committee there with lots of fun plans for flowers, for Mother's Day, or that significant person in your life. I also will be reaching out to each of you. I had mentioned it last week about which market during the summer you would like to take on with your committees to represent your committee there. We are also in the process of lining up entertainment for the summer at the amphitheater. We had a huge success last year. I know the mayor's already got some stuff lined up. We'll continue to do that, and we will also have a social media presence. We already have Blue Sky. We're going to be adding a Facebook page as well, so you guys can keep an eye on that. And I also wish everyone a happy Passover, a happy Easter, and a happy spring, hopefully with better weather soon.
All right, thank you. Lisa Perry.
The gardeners met last Saturday. We have a really great bunch of people, a couple new gardeners, and it looks like it's going to be a really positive year again. And also, Parks and Recs Committee is meeting next Tuesday, the 15th, Tax Day. So we will be moving along our agenda of items. Come when we finalize something.
Well, that is all we have, so I will adjourn the council meeting of... What? We need a motion? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? I will make a motion to adjourn the council meeting of April 9th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Stacy, Anna?
Foster.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Allner. Vincent.
Yes.
Perry. Silver.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.